Hello dear children, welcome back. Today we are going to learn about leap year, elliptical path, summer solstice, winter solstice, equinox and the remaining part of the chapter. In this video, I will be playing a video in which whatever we have learned in part 1 and 2 we will be able to recollect or recap the knowledge. Let us understand once again the motions of the earth, the rotation, revolution, elliptical path, the circle of illumination and many more things. Let us see
motions of the Earth. Our planet Earth has two types of movements, namely rotation and revolution. The movement of the Earth around the Sun on a fixed path or orbit is called revolution. The spinning of the Earth on its axis is called rotation. Rotation. Rotation is the movement of the Earth that causes day and night. The Earth spins on its axis from west to east. The axis of the Earth is an imaginary line which makes an angle of 66.5 degrees with its orbital plane. The plane formed by the orbit is known as the orbital plane. Rotation divides the Earth into a lighted half and a dark half. The circle that separates the dark part from the lighted part is known as the circle of illumination. So, we have day as the lighted part and night as the dark part on the Earth. They follow each other in all parts of the Earth. Seasonal changes occur due to the inclination of the Earth's axis. If the axis on the Earth was vertical, then there would have been an equal duration of day and night. There would have been no change in seasons also. If the Earth did not rotate, what would have happened? The half of the Earth facing the Sun would have been extremely hot and the other half freezing cold. The portion of Earth facing the Sun would have always experienced day, and the other half would have always remained in darkness. Life would not have been possible in such extreme conditions. The rotation of the Earth results in heat and light and darkness as well. This change from day to night causes temperature variations on the Earth. There is an increase in temperature during the day and decrease in temperature at night. Trivia. Earth's rotation period relative to the fixed stars is called its stellar day by the International Earth Rotation and Reference System Service (IERS). On a prograde planet like the Earth, the stellar day is shorter than the solar day. Revolution. The second motion.
So we have seen rotation. Rotation is the motion of the earth where earth rotates on its axis. It takes 24 hours to rotate, and we have seen there is an imaginary line which is called an axis, which is slightly tilted, and because of rotation we can experience day and night and even variation in temperatures. So let us understand about the revolution
Of the Earth around the Sun on an elliptical orbit is called revolution. Elliptical orbit means that part of Earth around the Sun is of oval shape and not round or circular. The Earth completes one revolution in a period of 365 days and 6 hours. We consider a year consisting of 365 days only and ignore 6 hours for the sake of convenience. These remaining 6 hours every year are added to make one day. One day is equal to 24 hours over a span of 4 years. This surplus day is added in the month of February. Thus, every fourth year, the month of February has 29 days instead of 28 days. Such a year in which the month of February comprises 29 days is known as a leap year.
So we have seen every year 6 hours. Okay, every year 6 hours saved and added to make one day. It means 24 hours over a span of 4 years. This surplus day is added to the month of February, and thus every fourth year. So the February is having 29 days instead of 28 days. Such a year with 366 days is called leap year. Once again, I'd like to tell you 6 hours every year saved and they are added to make a one day. It is 24 hours over a span of 4 years. And this surplus day is added to the month of February. So every year, thus we can say every fourth year, February is of having 29 days instead of 28 days, and that is having 366 days and is also known as leap year. Now we can find the leap year 2012, 2016, and next is 2020. So we can find it out. Okay.
So, a leap year comes once every 4 years. The year 2012 was a leap year followed by 2016. Find out when will the next leap year be? Cycle of seasons.
So we have seen revolution. Revolution is the second motion of the earth around the sun in its orbit. It's called revolution. It takes 365 and quarter a day, okay, to revolve around the sun. We consider a year as consisting of 365 days and we ignore these 6 hours, that is quarter day, for the sake of convenience, and then we add those 6 hours of 4 years to make one day, and then we make it into the month of February, where the month of February has 28 days. In the leap year it will have 29 days. So we all have seen the rotation and revolution. Now let us understand about the cycles of season.
The inclination of the Earth's axis and the revolution on its orbit are together responsible for the change of seasons throughout the year. Summer solstice. Look at figure number 4.2. You will find that on 21st June, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. The rays of the sun fall directly on the Tropic of Cancer. As a result, these areas receive more heat. The areas near the poles receive less heat as the rays of the sun are slanting. The North Pole is inclined towards the sun, and the places beyond the Arctic Circle experience continuous daylight for about 6 months. There is summer season in the northern hemisphere and winter season in the southern hemisphere. In the northern hemisphere, it is the longest day and the shortest night, while in the southern hemisphere, it is the shortest day and longest night.
So we have seen the summer solstice, change of season. So if you look into your textbook, figure 3.3, you will see that on 21st June, northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, and the sun rays of the sun, they directly fall on the Tropic of Cancer. So okay, as the result, what happens because of this? These areas receives more heat, and the heat in the areas near the poles receive less heat as the rays of the sun are slanting, not straight. Where the rays are straight, there will be more heat. Where the rays will be slanting, there will be no heat. The North Pole is inclined towards the sun. North Pole is inclined towards the sun. So the places beyond the Arctic Circle, at the top, Arctic Circle experiences continuous daylight about 6 months, near about for 6 months. Since a large portion of the northern hemisphere is getting light from the sun, it is summer in this region of the north of the equator. The longest day and the shortest night at these places occur on 21st of June. Recently we have seen that 21st of June. At this time in the southern hemisphere, all these conditions are reversed. Okay, all these conditions are reversed. It is winter season there. These conditions are reversed. If you see in the southern hemisphere, these conditions are reversed. It means it is winter there, the nights are longer than the days, and the positions of the earth is called the summer solstice. I hope you understand this. So this was about summer solstice.
Trivia. To visualize the motion of the Earth, picture a top spinning on a table. As the top slows down, it starts to wobble. While Earth is in no danger of stopping its daily rotation, it nonetheless wobbles on its axis. Imagine a line running through the poles and out into space. Continuing up or down, this line traces an imaginary circle among the polar stars every 26,000 years. Practically, precession is difficult to notice as the stars only shift about 1 degree every 70 years. This motion was first noticed by the great classical astronomer Hipparchus, who, upon using some old star charts, noticed that every single star whose position he measured was a few degrees away from where it should have been. From the Arctic Circle to North Pole, the whole area experiences sunshine for 24 hours. This is known as the phenomenon of the midnight sun. The countries of Norway and Sweden experience this phenomenon. The whole area from the Antarctic Circle to the South Pole experiences darkness for 24 hours. This position of the Earth is called summer solstice.
So in this way, we have seen
Autumn equinox. From summer solstice position, the Earth gradually
here. Let me tell you this equinox, where, as I have told you, in summer solstice, North Pole is tilted toward the sun, so it receives direct sun rays and it experiences the what I have said you, the summer solstice mainly is in this region of the north of equator. Days are longest day and shortest nights are there. Okay, on 21st June we have experienced this. This is called as summer solstice. But in winter season on 22nd of December, the topic of Capricorn receives direct sun rays because South Pole is tilted towards the sun, and therefore here in this when there is a summer in the southern hemisphere with the longer days and shorter nights, and the reverse, there is a reverse condition where reverse happens in northern hemisphere. This position is called as winter solstice. So on 21st of March and 23rd of September, direct sun rays are falling on the earth or equator. This position is having neither of the poles tilted toward the sun, so whole earth receives direct sun rays, or we can say there is an equal duration of day and night, and this is called as the equinox. So let me tell you about the autumn season in the when 23rd of on 23rd of September, it is autumn season in the northern hemisphere and spring season in the southern hemisphere. So opposite the case is on 21st of March, when spring is in the northern hemisphere, then there is autumn in the southern hemisphere. So this is how we have understood, because of the rotation and revolution of the earth respectively, we can experience the change of season and the duration of day and night.
moves on, and on 23rd September, it reaches the position of autumn equinox. The length of day starts decreasing in northern hemisphere. The opposite of it takes place in southern hemisphere. The North Pole and South Pole remain equidistant from the sun on 23rd September. The sun rays fall vertically on the equator, and the days and nights become equal all over the world. This period in the northern hemisphere is called autumn season, and in the southern hemisphere is called spring season. Winter solstice. From autumn equinox, the earth gradually moves and it reaches the position of winter solstice on 22nd of December. The South Pole remains inclined towards the Sun on this day, and the sun rays fall vertically on the Tropic of Capricorn. The day becomes shortest and the night as longest in Northern Hemisphere and vice versa in Southern Hemisphere. The Northern Hemisphere experiences winter season while the Southern Hemisphere experiences summer season. Spring equinox. On 21st March, the Sun remains equidistant from the North Pole and the South Pole. Hence, the sun rays fall vertically on the equator. The days and nights become equal all over the world. This period in the Northern Hemisphere is called spring equinox, and in the Southern Hemisphere, autumn equinox. If the Earth did not revolve around the Sun on its inclined axis, there would be no seasons. Because of the inclination of Earth's axis, each pole takes turn to tilt towards the Sun. It explains why each hemisphere has different seasons in a period of 1 year. It happens because Earth is in constant motion around the Sun on an inclined axis. Thus, there are changes in the duration of days and nights, and there are changes in seasons because of the rotation and revolution of the Earth respectively.
So in this way, we have recap about rotation, revolution, leap year, elliptical path, circle of illumination, summer solstice, winter solstice, equinox, spring equinox, autumn equinox, and the seasons caused by the rotation and revolution of the Earth. So this is what we have understood in this lesson. Thank you so much. I shall see you very soon in the next video. That time, take care and bye-bye.